Hey guys, it's Faded Gamer here again, and I've been playing Civ 6, and I was talking with one of my friends, and he plays Civ 5, so he was kind of wondering what the differences were, and no YouTuber that he was watching, like Markiplier or anything, were playing it. Well, they were playing it, but they weren't explaining the differences and stuff, probably because they didn't play the other ones all that much, but so I figured I might as well do it. This is completely unscripted. I'm just doing this on my stream right now, because I don't really feel like editing or anything. And I despise scripting, so I'd rather just kind of do it off the cuff. I got a notepad over here, though, of the differences that I was thinking about. So one of the major differences, to me, that I think is like probably the biggest important thing that they've changed, is that with one movement, you can no longer move up mountains. Which means all melee units have like 2 movement, if they're just the standard melee unit. And you can move one space, and you used to be able to move onto a forest tile or a hill or over a river at the cost of 1 movement if you've already used a movement. But now you can't do that. You need 2 movement at least to get up these things, which I think is one of the craziest changes. I think rivers take 3 movement to get over, but you can like automatically move over them if you that's your max movement if you got your max. So I think that's one of the weirdest changes they made. I don't know why they did it, but it kind of makes sense because this is always one of my biggest problems in the older civs, is that you would do these things, like you could set up an archer on a hill to attack a warrior unit that's 2 units away.
I thought Clay must feel happy.
And the problem with that quickly became that the warrior could just walk up the hill and automatically attack him on the same turn after he got shot, instead of like your archer having a superior position because they're an archer and on top of a hill. It actually gives some kind of advantage to the height and the forest and stuff, so you'll actually usually get a turn to react before your archer's going to get attacked, so you can shoot once and then fall back next turn because they're not going to be able to get onto you this turn if you have them 2 spaces away, unless it's a horseman who has more movement or something. Also, scouts have 3 movement now, but they do get movement penalized through terrain and stuff until you get some upgrades. So that's one thing I didn't write down, which is the upgrades. Upgrades are now a tree, and every type of unit has a different upgrade tree, but they're the same across that entire unit type. So like warriors have like, I think their first upgrades is like +10 against ranged, or they get +5 combat against ranged and melee units or something. One thing you noticed there when I found this city-state was that, yeah, and city-states are back, but they're a little bit different, so I'll explain that here in a second. That I got a Eureka, or an Inspiration. I think it was an Inspiration. But now, you can fill half of your research by doing something specific that's usually listed here, like kill a unit with a slinger, which is your starting ranged unit now, which I'm about to have 1 in 1 turn. But, so it'll fill it up halfway, reducing that to 3 turns now, which is a pretty big change. It means that you don't need a lot of science to get things done. You still will need a lot of science, but it's not going to become an absurd amount. This is also the government. This is the replacement for policies in the last game. Before you just like select down a policy tree of exactly what you wanted. And then once you got all the policies, it'd like give you a bonus, and each policy did its own thing. Like I always took the policy tree that'd give me a free settler and stuff because that's like the most convenient thing. But so yes, that's been replaced with the government system and this government upgrade system essentially that also gives you other bonuses. So like these are the cards that you can add to your government that'll change what it was doing. You saw what I did there with the cards. But yeah, it'll give you new cards by researching this stuff or upgrade old ones. It's also how you mostly get your religion up and your other culture, because this is actually produced by culture. And it's also how you get a lot of your deals, like open borders, alliances, embassies, and there are specific ways to declare war now. So you're not just locked into one way to declare war. Whereas like, hey, I want to go to war with you. Well, what's the reason? I can't choose that. We're just going to war. And then every AI will hate you because you went to war, even if you were in the right. So now you can declare war for reasons like they're attacking your city-state. You no longer are forced to defend your city-states. You're no longer like allies with them. They're just kind of under you, and you can choose to defend them if someone declares war. Oops, I accidentally clicked off screen. That happens a lot in this game, I noticed. It'll just pull me to the side, and I'll accidentally click where I don't want to go. So besides that, that was Eureka and Inspiration of the government stuff. So I don't need to worry about that. That was farther down my list, but I figured since it was there. So we got a new thing called districts now, which I don't think I can exactly show you yet because I don't have the Assigns district unlocked yet, which is like the first one you get. Or that one. Yeah, let's start looking for writing. And I'll show you exactly what districts do. But in the meantime, we can talk about the housing system. Oh, hey. Yeah, wonders are back, by the way. They're not wonders, but natural wonders, yeah. I can turn this on so you guys actually see that. Yeah, there you go. It produces food and culture. Villagers are back. Doesn't really matter. They've been in the game since, like, forever. So yeah, let's go to that village and see what we get. There's also been a watering system added, which ties in with this housing system that they added into the game as well. So this is the settler view. Green means that you'll get, I think it's 6 or 5 housing when you're on there. Red means that it's unfertile land, meaning you'll get a negative, I think. Oh no, just too close to city. Okay. No water means you get no bonus from water advantage, and coastal just is the +1. Yeah, it's +3 for freshwater. Okay. Not as big as I thought it was. But it means that rivers are extremely valuable now because of that. And oceans are a little less valuable, but you still have the ocean-like stuff that you can do, which makes it important still. But it just means that it's not as important just be like, hey, I'm going to build on over there because there's a lot of food and stuff. You also have to consider exactly where the water is if you want a bigger city. Spearmen seem like they changed some of the barbarians and stuff. Spearmen and warriors are like completely even in this game, pretty much. I think warriors are slightly stronger than a spearman, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But spearmen are more designed to intentionally counter cavalry now, instead of where it was just kind of an upgrade. Sort of. It wasn't like a flat upgrade. You couldn't upgrade your warriors to it, but so they added that to change that. We got a slinger unit. Doing a monument. Trade routes are back again. No real change on those, except now, after trading for a couple times, it'll build a like trade post on it, which permanently increases the trade value that you get from it. I'm gonna start making a warrior just so I can show you guys exactly what the differences are with the warriors now. What's up next? So I haven't been able to show you the districts yet. Wonders now take up a hex, so you will lose production on a hex for a wonder. So like if I put one there, I'd lose the 2 food. It's gone because I built a wonder there, which I thought was a weird change. But because of the district system that I'll show you later, it kind of makes sense. Because districts basically are specialty stuff that you have to build other buildings. Like, I have to have a campus district to build a library. You don't just build a library now in your cities. Oh, I forgot. This is one important thing. I'll show you next turn because I can't do it right now. But promotions now automatically heal your units instead of you having to use a promotion on healing, which is an interesting change to the promotions. So if I go over here, yeah, this is the promotion tree. +7 against melee and ranged in combat, and then just 10 range defense. So I usually go for that one. Yeah, now they're healed from like half to full, but they lose their turn. Now when you take an upgrade, you lose your turn, which is a little odd to me, but it's what they decided to go with. I guess since they added the healing effect, they don't want you to heal and become stronger in the same turn and then just completely annihilate someone. So yeah, wonders take up actual stuff now, which is interesting.
Under the white.
Another natural wonder. Like I said, districts do too. So districts and wonders will take up stuff, but you need the districts to build other buildings. And next on my list is the worker changes, but I don't have a worker yet to show you that. But I can explain it now anyways. Workers now only have 3 charges. Yeah, they actually have voice acting for the people. I think they did in the last game too. At least at the start. So basically, workers now only have 3 charges, which means I could only build, hey, yeah, the game keeps pulling me away. I could build, like, 2 rice and 1 quarry, and then my worker's gone. Unless I take certain governmental upgrades that will give you, like, +2 or 3. But other than that, yeah, you're completely just stuck with what you have, pretty much. Which I think is a really meh change. Because of the district system, it means you have less that needs to be worked by a worker, since the whole bunch of the tiles are going to be taken up. And you're not going to be able to build there. And you're not going to get any yield from there. So it makes sense that then the workers would have less charge because they have less use. But I feel like in the game as a whole, I have less to do then. Because I'm not microing workers around to intentionally do certain building stuff. Like, I'm not constantly having them produce farm because they only have 3 uses. I can't just spam them around wherever I want now. I'm gonna buy that tile back there and then put that there. So yeah, now you can see the 2 food yield that was there is now gone. Like, right when you start building it, gone. The yield's gone. And then we'll send a delicate. Yep. That's probably a good time to explain this changes. So, this is the diplomacy screen now. You have certain access to what NPCs feel about you. And probably it'll work the same way online as far as seeing what the person's building and who they're declaring war on and stuff. But, so yeah, he's unfriendly. Unknown reason. I'll send delegate. He's gonna accept the delegate. They usually won't unless they send you a delegate first, which I've noticed. Or if you're, like, timing it properly, where you both just send delegates at the same time, pretty much. So we send a delegates 3, 2 for a friendly meeting, and 5 negative for my first impression, which I don't know really what infects that. It just kind of seems to happen. I have more access now. Before I could only see, like, if he built some nukes and stuff, because that's, like, a big event. And now I can see a lot more, and then if I get another access level, I'll have more stuff like that. I think you have to have an embassy for that, or you need to become friends or whatever. It becomes a lot harder to make friends with the AI in this game, because they have specific wants and dislikes. Like, for him, what was it showing it here? I don't remember exactly where it shows. There it is, agendas. So he likes civilizations with the same luxuries as he has, but he hates anyone who has more luxuries than he does, like ones that he doesn't have yet. And then you have a hidden one, which I'll need an embassy to see, probably. So yeah, he's like, you got luxuries I ain't got, and then I hate you. Which, I hate that system. And every single AI has stuff like that. I think it's the Greek, because they're Spartans, like, really enjoy power, and they don't really care if you get in war. Like, they won't give you a whole bunch of war penalty and stuff to their happiness towards you, because they're like, yeah, war, awesome, who cares? But then there are other ones that are like, hey, I only want peace. Like, Gandhi only wants peace. But his actual secret agenda is that he likes people who have a whole bunch of nukes, because that joke just keeps going on and on, which I'm okay with that. It's a funny joke that Gandhi likes nukes, so. You mess up in one game, and it persists through every single game ever. So Gandhi hasn't changed. What is next? Ambassadors at city-states. Yes, that's actually an important thing. So let's click on the city-state. Envoy sense, not ambassadors, envoys. You can also levy military now, once you get to a certain relationship with them, which means you get all their military units. But as far as I've seen, they don't build military like they used to. Like, they tend to be very low-tech military for a very long time, whereas before, like, the second someone got modern infantry, every single city-state were having modern infantry roaming around their borders. Like, they were a threat. So you can see who's sent envoys already. You can see their quests. You have quests again to increase what they do. But this is the envoy list of showing exactly what you get. So 1 envoy, I'm just getting +2 culture on my capital. At 3, I'll have +2 to every single theater district. At 6, I'll get +2 to every single theater district again. And then once you get above 3, if you're the only person with above 3, you'll automatically become friends with them. You'll share sight range with them, so you can see what your city-state's seeing, and you'll, like, see what they're doing. But then it becomes a competition to see who can keep it, pretty much, by sending delegates and by doing their quests. Every quest gives you 1 delegate, and you can send one when a certain influence thing is filled, which is this thing right up here. Once you get enough influence, you'll be able to send another envoy. Yeah, once you get to 3, you'll become allies with them, but if anyone else gets to 3, you'll lose the alliance, and no one will have the alliance, and then once someone gets to 4 and the other person's still at 3, someone else will get an alliance. So it becomes a competition if you really want to fight over city-states and influence. Yeah, they give really good bonuses. You don't lose those bonuses if you're not allies with them. You just can't see what they do, and I don't think you can levy their military either. What is up next, since I've explained that best I could? Like I said, there's new ways to declare war once you research it. Now you have to denounce someone. If you can declare a surprise war. Usually you have a huge warmonger penalty for this, because no one wants to just be like, hey, surprise, we're at war now. No, you can do it. You'll just get massive unhappiness from other people. But now you can declare war if someone takes your city-state, pretty much free of charge, if you have the upgrade already researched, which is in the culture tree. You can declare a colonial war on anyone who's like 2 tech levels lower than you. You can declare expansionist wars. You can declare war to retake a city at free of charge. You can declare wars to help your allies at free of charge, pretty much, just to get rid of that warmonger penalty. So I don't think it's that important in a like PvP setting. It's important if you're fighting against the AI and stuff. Here's a pretty important district now, the encampment district, which actually can shoot. It counts as your military district, so this is where your barracks and stuff are going to be for training units. But it actually has a ranged attack, like the cities did in Civ 5. And that's one important thing to bring up, is that in Civ 5, your cities automatically started with the ability. Shut up. I don't care if we have stuff in common. Your cities used to automatically be able to shoot at barbarians that were roaming around and stuff, but if you saw someone get within my border limit, not really a border limit, within 2 hexes, I can't shoot at them. It's not anything I can do. Until you get city walls. Once you have city walls built in your city, you have to have at least ancient walls. There are multiple different walls tiers now. I don't think there was before. I think it was just walls. Now you have ancient walls, medieval walls, Renaissance walls, and stuff like that. So your city cannot shoot by itself, which you can see right here right now. Oh. Right now, I don't have the little icon that says I can shoot. You cannot purchase walls with gold, which I think is really dumb. I hope they change that at some point. You can't purchase city walls with gold, which is just random. You also can't purchase districts with gold either. That's an important differential to make as well. So not everything can be purchased with gold anymore. I probably should have moved my slinger unit to go fight that person. The slinger only has 1 space of attack, which is weird. It's not 2. It's not like an archer. Yeah, so now he's on my thing. He's probably going to pillage it next turn. That's a pretty good segue. Unless you guys can lose sound real quick. Someone messaged me on Skype, and I need to go on D&D. Not D&D. Do not disturb. That's the D I'm talking about, not the fantasy D&D. Open borders. Yep. Whatever. That's still here. Most of the negotiation stuff is still here. You can still trade resources and stuff. What was I talking about? Oh, barbarians no longer heal when they pillage you. Before, if barbarians pillaged one of your spots, like a random resource or any of your upgrades, they would automatically heal like 25 to 50% of their HP. Which is completely insane. It was one of the most annoying things. You'd be bombarding them with your cities, and it just would have no effect. Because they just keep healing, and it'd take like multiple turns, and you lose a whole bunch of stuff, and you have to send your workers to go repair it all. That's a big thing to make as well, which is a good reminder myself. I already talked about workers, but workers can repair things for free. Like improvements that got pillaged, they can automatically repair those for free. Doesn't matter. Districts, if they get pillaged, your city has to repair those, so it'll take more turns of production to repair what's been damaged. What's up next? Next, I have written down nukes, which is kind of far to be talking about, but I'm definitely not going to show you that in this video. Nukes have been changed to a stockpile mechanic instead of building them in your cities and being able to launch them from submarines and cities. Oh god, Yeah, barbarians also produce scouts now. I didn't mention that, I should have. Barbarians can produce scouts now instead of just warriors and stuff, and then they produce horsemen and blah blah blah, all the stuff they used to before. But they're not just producing military now. Now they actually produce scouts, which are pretty easy to kill. That's actually the bottom of the map right there. How interesting. Or at least my map. The maps feel a lot smaller. There's no way to reduce how many city-states as far as I've seen in the options, even though I go to the advanced options menu. I haven't found a way to reduce how many. Yeah, now you can see. Now that my walls are up, I can actually shoot that cavalry unit. Even the slingers only have one space. For some reason, using slingers in the city to go 2 spaces. I don't know. So yeah, now that I have the encampment district up, I can build a barracks, which gives +1 housing. There's that amenities, which is basically happiness. Housing right there is how much population you have in your city before you start taking penalties, like it growing a lot slower. You still got your wonders and stuff. I'll show this real quick. Yeah. So as you can see, I'll have to put it on top of a hex, and it removes the 2 food bonus that was on that hex. So that's completely gone. That bonus is gone. Going back to nukes real quick, so that's an important differential to make again. It's a stockpile mechanic now. So instead of launching them from your city, you launch them. Well, you have to use them in bombers or nuclear submarines. I think those are the 2 units that can actually drop nukes now. I don't think anything else can. Your cities can no longer launch them. Making it a big, like, difference. You can't just have it. You also have to have the units to use it. Which is interesting, because it means that you have to research other things besides just, like, Manhattan Project. Yeah, let's go nuke people now. So you actually have to have a better delivery method. Okay, I think I accidentally hit it. Yeah, you can click things before it even pops up, which is a little annoying. Let's talk about that. Yeah, you can just stockpile a bunch of nukes. And it just goes to a counter up here, kind of like a resource instead of how it was before. Now that's warning that my amenities are low. Like I said, amenities are basically happiness in this game. So happiness is no longer empire-wide, which is a very good change. Because I hated being at war and then just getting a whole bunch of unhappiness to my entire civilization just because I had cities that didn't like me. Because I just captured them or whatever. And I didn't have, like, what was it? A courthouse yet or whatever to decrease the war and happiness. So yeah, now your main cities will still be happy if they have enough amenities and stuff. Too low of amenities will still spawn revolution units. So barbarian units that just pillage your stuff for free and try and kill your city and stuff. Lower resources required, yeah. As you may notice when I go around the map, there isn't that much iron. Not that much iron at all. They've changed how strategic resources work. Luxury resources are pretty much everywhere still, but you don't see a whole bunch of iron anywhere anymore. Strategic resources now, instead of using 1 resource per unit, it now... No, there's 2 iron right there, so bad example. Instead of having to have, like, 3 iron for 3 different swordsmen, you just need the 1 iron to produce swordsmen. And some things will require that you have 2, like, I think it's oil. You have to have 2 to produce a tank, maybe. You have to have that number within your empire borders, but they don't get expended on having units. Before, if you built a swordsman, you lost 1 iron. If you bought a horseman, you lost 1 horse. Until that unit was defeated. So that was a very important change that I think happened. Religious units have been changed. There's now a religion victory. I don't remember if there was a religion victory in the old game. I very rarely actually mess with the religion stuff. You can still find a pantheon and stuff, but you need a great prophet still to start a religion. People already took some of the good ones, which is like the border expansions. I don't know, man. All these suck. Let's go with that one. What other big change? What was I talking about? Religious units changes, right? So I don't remember there's a religion unit victory before, but if you can convert the entire world to your religion, you'll win in this game. I remember before it was really difficult to delete a religion from the game, pretty much, because the holy city would constantly be producing the pressure of that holy city, even though that your religion may have completely wiped it out. Like, there's 0 people that believe in it there, and it's all your people. They'll still be like converting randomly because it's their holy city. Now that won't happen. If you completely take out a holy city's like backing, then that religion's gone from that city unless they use another city to like make a missionary or apostle or something, or maybe even an inquisitor. Yeah, an inquisitor would probably work. And delete all your stuff. Do I have...
The ascent to the highest story.
Yeah, now it actually has a cinematic for building that stuff, which is pretty cool. I think they put a lot of work into the actual look of the game, which is pretty cool. You can see what... Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different stuff here. I'm looking specifically for religion, though. Okay, since there's no religions, I can't actually show it. But there'll be a circle in the city showing how much % is one religion versus another. So, if my city was like Buddhist, you'd see like almost a full circle of Buddhism, probably. Or like half circle, depending on how many people converted. You can see the combat rating right there. Yeah, things still have combat ratings. What's next? Inquisitors and apostles can fight now without having to be at war. So if you see someone of a different religion, like trying to convert one of your cities and you're trying to go for a religious victory, at least stop them from getting a religious victory, you can now send an apostle from a different religion to fight them. Or missionaries can't attack, apostles can, and inquisitors can, but my inquisitors seemed really weak when I tried that, so apostles seem to be the people that you want to fight. I'd think inquisitors would be the best for fighting, but you know, whatever. So now you can actually fight off religious-based units with other religion units to stop someone from winning or stop them from converting your city, to whereas before you basically had to declare war on them and try and like kill their unit, which was a little excessive just to stop people from converting your stuff. Which makes it feel like there was a religious victory, but I just don't remember it because it was in an expansion, so I don't quite remember that. I already talked about the government system. The spy system has changed. Now, when you build the spy, you deploy it to a district, and it protects that district and every district within 1 hex of that district. So if you don't want to be losing science completely randomly, you'll have to put your spy on your science district. But that also means if your districts aren't like right next to each other, you're going to have to deploy multiple spies at your capital if you want to protect all your capital's districts. It really thins out how many spies you can use, whereas before you just put 1 in a city to defend it. But it opens a lot more avenues on attacking with spies and keeping them safe when attacking, instead of just having them completely get annihilated because someone has like a spy sitting there and a spy sitting in another city, a spy sitting in another city. So now you have a lot more options of attack, leaving you a lot safer to attack because it's unlikely that they will have a spy there. But now, instead of always killing spies, before every single time a spy would fail, they'd either run away or die. That guy's going to capture my trade route, probably. Trade routes can still be plundered and stuff, but now the main way that you're going to be building roads is by sending trade routes between cities. Your workers no longer build roads. It is all done by the trade route. And then there's also a military engineer unit that you can get to do it. Going back to the spy system, you can now capture spies. Sometimes a spy will die, sometimes it won't. Yeah, they plundered my trade route, but you can see the road coming out. Yeah, so you can see the encampment can shoot. But yeah, now you can capture spies, which means that they will permanently be down a spy because you captured him, and they can't get that spy back unless they barter for him. And trust me, the AI will try and barter a lot to try and get their spy back, because that's permanently a spy slot that's gone. A spy slot is completely pretty much deleted for them until they get their spy back. Which I never give them their spy back because I don't want them to spy on me again. So I'm just like, no, you get nothing. So that's an interesting change that I think they did, is the ability to capture spies, which I'm glad about, because I'd like to just capture everyone's spies and never give them back, because I despise spying. I hate the mechanic completely, but it's in the game. In the expansion before, you could just turn off that expansion and be fine, but in this game, not so much. What's up next? Science Victory is slightly changed. Instead of building a spaceship and going to Alpha Centauri and, you know, being a happy camper, instead you just send up a couple missions to colonize Mars, and that's considered a victory. Which is kind of lame. You're not really building, like, SS cockpit and SS habitat units, and you're not building all these units, and, like, you're not really rewarding the management between building a whole bunch in your cities and sending the ship off to Alpha Centauri to colonize it. Whereas, like, you could not build a whole bunch of thrusters and it would make it, but it'd take longer, but you had to produce less. Whereas if you had high production, you could just produce a whole bunch of the cockpit, or not the cockpit, but the thrusters and the habitat units. You could send more people more quickly. So it kind of took out the risk-reward system from that, and instead you just have to basically build, essentially, wonders. They're not wonders, though. They launch from a new district, which is called the Spaceport, which is where you'll be producing all your stuff. I think I can show you that in the technology tree real quick. It's somewhere around here. Spaceport. Yeah, there's one of the habitat units, so you just launch the Mars habitat unit. That's one of the part of the victories. You gotta launch the Mars reactor, you gotta launch the Mars whatever that is. Hydroponics. You gotta launch the Mars landing. Oh, where's the spaceport? There it is, Spaceport District. So yeah, you have to build that district, then you can launch an Earth satellite. That's like the first thing you have to do, and that's the thing that gives you the vision on the entire world, as before, when you did the, what was it, the Sputnik wonder? I don't remember. You'd basically launch a satellite, and, boom. Trade routes, an important change, is that just improving, technologically doesn't give you more trade routes and stuff. Now you can build commercial hubs in every single city to get a new trade route, which is pretty cool, I guess. It's an okay change. I don't mind it. Yeah, like I said, Science Victory completely changed. Not so much risk reward now. It's just build the district and then build the stuff and make sure you have the research for it.
Politics is the art of the...
One interesting thing, like I talked earlier, was with the Slinger only having one range and stuff. Before, you didn't have any ranged units until you had the, here's the different forms of government. I usually go with this one. So yeah, Slingers only have one space, but you start with them at the start, whereas before, you used to only have, what was it? You had to research archery before you get any kind of range unit, so you could have the archer. I think it could also run construction for catapults. So yeah, it's completely gone. Well, not completely gone. You have the Slinger now to start, so you can actually have a range unit to start the game. So you're not completely helpless against melee characters and can actually do some kind of damage. The AI seem a lot more aggressive in this game. Because they dislike you a lot more quickly, they seem to go to war with you a lot more easily to try and win the game. I'm on King difficulty right now, which means they have a +1, I think, to combat. And I have literally had them declare war on me instantly. Like, they'll see me, they'll go, hey, let's have open borders. They'll come in my borders and see that I only have one archer unit defending my home, and they'll immediately declare war and try and take it. Like, they do not care. They will try and capture your capital with like 4 units. And they will generally succeed because your capital kind of sucks when it doesn't have walls yet and can shoot. Walls also give that blue bar, which is like additional HP to your city. So yeah, that you need walls soon in this game, it seems, or else the AI just go, hey, that city's not defended enough. I'm just going to immediately attempt to win the game and take you out of it. So the AI seem a lot more aggressive, but it still seems to cheat at the higher difficulties. Like I said, it gives a +1 to combat on their side. It like on the higher difficulties, it'll keep adding +1s to combat. I'm sure they still start with additional starting technologies just like before. Probably pottery again, because that's what they always start with in these games. I really wish they'd change that. I wish we'd get more, you know, interesting ways the AI play instead of just buffing the AI and giving them a better start and essentially letting them cheat to win. I already talked about cities not being able to shoot without the walls. Oh, this is a pretty cool change. Because you now have the military district and stuff, the first place that a unit will spawn, you know, you're just going auto explore. I don't care about you anymore. Okay. That's actually one important thing to talk about before I talk about the military district. Scouting AI is really stupid now. If they are too close to one of the villages, they will automatically go off autopilot, whereas in Civ 5, they would automatically walk towards it, even if there was danger in that area, which was pretty stupid too. But now they won't let you auto them. You have to order them to either pick it up or move away from it. Same thing with barbarian units. They'll do the same thing, but they don't stop until after they made their move on their turn. Which is dumb. I don't like that at all. Because they'll make a full move. Sometimes they'll like do a C around it. Like they'll like go towards it and then go away from it. And then it'll say that you found one. And then if you forget about it by next turn, then wow, played out. How did you let it get plundered inside your own borders, Jesus? Anyways, so yeah. That's not a cool scouting change that I think that should be way more improved. They should stop within 2 squares of it and let me choose what to do. And let me click auto and they'll ignore it. Or let me actively tell them to go for it. I think that would be a much better compromise than just making me unable to auto them, period, when they're near something. Don't really want to waste 4 more turns on another trade route. This is, yeah, I got enough influence to actually put down an envoy now, so you can actually see the system, how it works, tells you who owns it and stuff. Right near the end of my list. Actually, I have one more thing written down, but I remembered something else, fortunately. The grade person system. Building districts boosts this. Since I have a military district, I'm gaining 1.1 per turn. I have science districts, so I should also be gaining some per turn. Yeah, 2.3. And once you get that bar filled, it'll let you say if you want it or if you don't. So you can pass on it if you do not want that character. Or you can accept it if you want them. But other civilizations can get mad. Like, there are some civilizations that are like, hey, don't take our great people or whatever. Because they just need a reason for the AI to hate you. Great prophets, there's only like 5 great prophets in the game. So you can only have like 5 religions. But each person does something different. Like, not completely different, but each person will. Let's look at the scientists real quick. So he triggers a unique moment for for mathematics and 1 random technology. So he specifically does mathematics, then 1 random one in the medieval era. Which means if there's nothing else for you to research in the medieval era, because for some reason you just boosted past it, he's completely useless except for 1 Eureka instead of 2. Or, yeah, he's completely useless because you probably already have mathematics. Same thing with a lot of other characters. Generally, great merchants will give you like money. This one gives faith. Oh, that's pretty strong. 1 free copy of an extra resource. That's pretty cool. Usually they'll give you some money and an envoy to send to another city-state. great generals are pretty varied. They will usually turn into something. Like, later in the game, they usually turn into tanks or whatever, +1 promotion, but they also give, like, an aura effect if you really want to hold on to them. So they varied what the great people do, instead of just every single engineer giving you a bonus to whatever, just a construction period. Like, it just boosts your construction by 500 or whatever for that turn. Instead, like, some will help with the construction of wonders, some will help the construction of a district or a building.
The poets have been mysteriously silent.
So I think that's pretty cool. I think that was a good change that was needed, because otherwise every single great person feels exactly the same, and it's kind of boring. And I think I said it earlier. I think it's going to be my last point, probably. I can't think of anything besides the fact that they got rid of trebuchets. That's one thing. Yeah, trebuchets are gone. I don't know why. It's a meme on the internet. Everyone loves trebuchets. I don't know why you take out trebuchets and keep catapults. Should have went the other way. Come on. Everyone loves a good trebuchet. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the maps feel smaller. I feel like the maps might not actually be smaller. Yes, I understand you're upset because I took an luxury resource. Kill yourself. So maps end up feeling smaller because of the fact that there are just so many city-states. Like, look at all these city-states. I've got so many city-states around me that takes up so much of the map just in these pointless AI that don't do anything, really, except give me trade route locations, and if you're not going to be building a whole bunch of trade routes, then they're completely pointless to you. So yeah, I don't like that. I would really like a slider that lets me adjust. Yeah, now you can see the recruit pass thing on this. Do I have to bring in my science district? Yeah, I do. Yeah, usually I have to bring a great person to the science district or whatever district they're associated with. But yeah, there are so many of these city-states. It makes the map feel so tiny because you can't build all that many places. You're really restricted in what you can build and what you can't, because I'd love to build, like, you know, 5 cities, but it's probably not going to happen because I've got the Aztecs are going to come down from here, and you got Stockholm over here, and you got Hadisua, I guess, Leventa. Like, it just takes up so much space. We need sliders to adjust this. We really, really need sliders to adjust this. But in the advanced option, there is no sliders to adjust that. You can turn on and off certain victory conditions, like always, which is good, because no one likes the time victory, and everyone turns that off because it's garbage. But, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't give us the option this time to be able to change that stuff. So hopefully we get a mod for that, or in one of the expansions they give us that. But at the moment, the maps end up feeling really, really claustrophobic just because of how many people are around, and you're going to have to take city-states to really expand your empire past just a couple of cities for the most part.
Like to the apples.
And I think that's everything. I'm sorry this wasn't scripted, guys, but I really didn't want to do the editing because I'm lazy. So sue me. But I think that explained most of the changes. I guess one quick thing to notice is water resources are also built by the same workers that build the land resources, so it uses up a charge due to that. I think that's probably something important to mention. Besides that, if I forgot anything, I'll leave it in the description, like, down below somewhere. I'll let you guys know if I forgot something. Or if anyone leaves a comment on the video, even though it's probably not getting all that many views, but if they leave a comment saying, hey, this is something that changed that was important that you forgot about, let me know. I will put it the first thing in the description. And thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this is probably a little bit long of a video, and that I probably didn't explain it, and I was a little scatterbrainy. But I just really wanted to do this to let you guys know what changed. Maybe it'll help some people understand if they actually want to buy Civ 6. I suggest you do. There are a lot of changes. A lot of it was good. If you liked... Oh my god. I'm so bad. I just remembered one of the biggest changes. You can actually build armies now. In Civilization Revolution, I don't know how many of you people played that thing because it was on consoles, not PC.
One man's
You could put 2 to 3 units together to create armies, and in this game you need technology to do it first. I think before you could just do it no matter what. But it'll increase their damage values by, I think it was 7 and then 10. 7 if you had 2, 10 if you had 3, and then basically put 3 units and put them together. It wouldn't increase their HP though. So yeah, that I don't do that much because there's also a mechanic now where I don't remember if the old games had this mechanic. You could actually surround a city now, and it will reduce like how much the city heals each turn, which is very, very strong. So you can siege the cities a lot more. It'll put the city under siege, which is a great thing, I think. So now that you have that, putting units in groups really doesn't help because you want to spread them out to at least like 4 tiles around the city so you can siege it. It's really good for artillery unit though, because then artillery bombards cities for more damage. So that's a change. I didn't think it was that big, but it's kind of important because it's good for siege units, but it's not so good for normal melee units unless you want to send them into combat, like attacking a lot instead of defending. Okay. I think that is actually everything now, unless I forgot something else. Yeah, again, sorry for the complete scatterbrain and poor planning of this video. I just kind of wanted to do it because I suck at committing to anything and doing anything.
find time for recreation.
So, just let me know if I forgot anything. I'll put it in the description down below. And thank you all very much for watching my extremely poor video. And have a great day.